Penso che un sogno così non ritorni mai più. E incominciavo a volare nel cielo infinito.
9 seconds. That's what I'll give you to decide your fate.
Ciao Roberto!
Roberto, tell me, what did you do back home?
Government work. I'm retired now. I understand pain, death, for you.
Come sta?
Va bene. Because of these people, I'm beginning to understand real peace.
Roberto, this is my wife! Ciao, ciao! Oh!
And I'm starting to believe
Ciao, Johnson!
They see you as one of us now.
this is where I'm supposed to be.
What happens here happens in many towns. The mafia. They're like cancer. No cure.
Who said you could come here? You should stay out of other people's business.
Whatever it is you and your friends do it somewhere else.
You warning me?
I'm preparing you. Is that a Timex?
No, it's a boot.
That's the median nerve that I'm compressing. That's a level 3. If it goes to level 4, you will shit on yourself.
You seem like a man who understands violence.
I like this place. You can't take that from me.
I can take anything I want.
Police found multiple dead bodies on that farm in Sicily. Did you kill him?
9 seconds. Do I look like a killer?
Every day I'm gonna be watching, and the same day I'm gonna be talking about a movie I've never ever seen. Some I'll be watching on my laptop, some on my tablet, some on my TV, and some of them I'll see on the big screen. It's movie month time, what a way to make a podcast. Yes, it's all month long, from the 1st of June to the last. I will watch a film and then I will talk about it. It's 30 movie days of fun, 'cause there is no June 31.
Happy Monday, everybody. It is Monday, June 22nd, which means for the 22nd day in a row, I watched a movie I've never seen before. And for the 22nd day in a row, I am here podcasting about it to you, and yes, also you. Today, I went back to close the loop. I went back to finish out a trilogy that I started 2 years ago, a series I continued 1 year ago, and a series I completed today. Right? This is the end of the Equalizer trilogy, right? Or maybe not. I know I saw some articles today talking about Denzel saying he's signing up to do Equalizer 4 and Equalizer 5, but those are like from 2 years ago. So I don't know if that's still something on the horizon. I haven't found too many things recently about either one. IMDb still says Equalizer 4 upcoming for Denzel. Production unknown. It also says he's attached to Black Panther 3, so that should be interesting. So the last time I saw Denzel Washington was last year for Equalizer 2. I still have not seen Gladiator 2. I'm not sure if I'm going to, but I know he was in that, and I think people said he was supposed to be pretty fun in that. I started these movies a couple of years ago. I'm a big fan of one man coming in and kicking the shit out of bad guys to help good guys to help the defenseless, or just to avenge a dog. I'm all for that. And I think I guess I love the John Wick movies. Was it Monkey Man? Was that last year? Loved that. Was that last year or 2 years ago? I don't even remember. And I think it kind of, for me, started with Denzel and Dakota Fanning, actually. Almost 20 years prior to The Equalizer 3, they starred in a little movie called Man on Fire, where a young girl, Dakota Fanning, was kidnapped. The man who was hired to watch after, got revenge and basically killed everybody. And I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of just one guy wreaking havoc, destroying everyone, and winning. Good guys winning in the end, especially when it's not just a giant, muscly guy. I grew up watching Arnold and Sly, and then Steven Seagal showed that even a doughy guy with a bad hairpiece and terrible acting if he can save the day, anyone can do it. But what if you get a guy who's like an excellent actor, a Hollywood A-lister, and have him kicking the shit out of people? Then you got Man on Fire, or even I would say John Wick, maybe bigger, more successful movies, but Keanu not as big of a star, I think, as Denzel. Denzel is like, at this point, he is like royalty in Hollywood, I think, right? And yet you have him, viciously murdering bad guys in 3 movies, and I am okay with him. He's an older gentleman. I think, he's in his 70s now. If he can pick up a gun, then I believe he can do everything. There's not one thing in this movie that he did physically that made me think, oh, that's ridiculous. That's a stuntman doing this. There's no way that he did that. Nope. Everything that he did, I believed that that Denzel could do that as Robert McCall. I've talked about, this is a TV show from the 80s that I never watched, but I knew about it. It's a TV show, just a couple of years ago with Queen Latifah playing a different, I don't know if she's a McCall. I have no idea. I don't know if it's supposed to be connected to Robert McCall. I don't know if it's a whole new, like I'm taking over a business, or if it's just she's a fresh character doing the same thing. I don't know. It's just funny that there's a TV show and a movie in the exact same world at the exact same time. And that's kind of how these, because this came out in 2023 and the TV show was already going by then, I think. I'm not going to look it up. So is this my first foreign film of the year? It felt like I'm basically watching Italian cinema with some English in there and a big Hollywood star. I was talking to my buddy Chris about that I was doing this movie, and he was telling me that he loved the first one and the second one, and maybe should have quit while they were ahead. And I gotta say, I am going to disagree with you. Now, in the grand scheme of things, was this movie like some happenstance, and was it like a little too, it was very much like almost paint by numbers as far as the plot. Nothing intricate there, no real twists at all. And Denzel did not really have like any adversity as far as, he's like, I'm really sorry, but I'm going to kill you, or I'm going to do this. And they're like, no, you're not. I'm going to come back later and I'm going to kill you. Instead of just shooting him, they didn't look, logically speaking, there are holes in this movie. In one scene, this guy who runs the whole, whatever this crime family, there's this guy who basically looked like Hector Salamanca. For a second, I thought, oh my God, they cast this guy again? It wasn't him. And he's just like this old man in a wheelchair. And the head of this crime family is trying to force these people to sell their building so that he can open up his hotel. They say no. So he someone pushes this man out a window and hangs him, this old man, and kills him. And he's right there and he goes, leave it up for everyone to see. So he doesn't care about that. And then later in the movie, he has Denzel and he could just shoot him and everyone has their phones up and he's like, they're watching us. They're filming us. We got to get out of here. The cops are coming. Now, 10 minutes before that, they took the head of the cops and chopped off his hand. So at one moment they don't fear the police at all, and another moment they're beating up police officers. They're chopping off hands of the head of the police officers, and yet just like a little while later they're like, the cops are coming. We got to get out of here. We're gonna come back and kill you, Denzel Washington. He's like, I'll be here waiting for you. But then he's like, well, I'm not waiting. Because we've seen Denzel wait before and prepare. This time he's like, you know what? I'm going to go there. I'm going to kill. Then the main guy, there's no like big fight at the end. There's just, he kills a bunch of people. Then he punches that guy out, drugs him, and lets him die in the streets. So, you knew he's going to win. But there was no like, here we go. Boom, the victory. It was just like, I'm winning the whole time. And you know what? It's friggin' Robert McCall. He should win the whole time. So bing, bang, boom in your face. And yet I still enjoyed it. They're just, at the beginning, this guy shows up, this guy shows up in in Sicily, I think. And he's at his vineyard, I believe. He shows up and he tells his son or grandson to wait in the car. And he goes in and one of the guys is like, we were told to wait for you. Dead bodies everywhere. They walk in and there's Robert McCall sitting there. And he's got two guys with guns on him. And they don't kill him. They just don't kill him because that would make sense. It doesn't have to make sense. This is a movie. So he's like, he's explaining, you took something that I'm here to get back. And that's it. He's like, do you know who I am? Do you know what this is? You're in here. You kill all my men and because I took something? Well, it doesn't sound like you won. He's like, listen, I'm sorry, you had your chance. And he's sitting there like with a glass. He wants to drink wine. He looks at his watch. He's like, you have 9 seconds. Now, see, the guy on the right, he's leaning too far. So the guy on the left doesn't realize he's already a dead man. He's like, what? 9 seconds, bing, bang, boom. He disarms one guy, makes the other guy shoot the other guy, and then kills the other guy. Just like that. And as he's leaving, he has a bag. And as he's leaving, he sees the little kid. He tells the kid, get out of here. But the kid shoots him in the ass, shoots him in the leg. And that actually affects him. That scene was actually pretty good though. Like his reaction, like the way he started shooting in the air and he's like, what the hell happened? I thought I thought that, the kid missed, but then you see him sit down and he's like, you could tell he's in pain. We cut to on the side of a road. He obviously got up and tried to drive away. He passed out. Luckily the local policia, a police officer finds him. We don't know that until later. Brings him to a doctor, not to the hospital, but brings him to a local doctor who he trusts. The doctor is like, are you a good man or a bad man? He says, I don't know. Later he goes, only a good man would say that. Now I like this guy. This guy, it turns out I've seen him in another movie. He played Enzo Ferrari in Ford versus Ferrari. So he lets Robert McCall stay there with him for a little while, living with him. And you just we get to see Denzel hang out in friggin' Naples and Sicily or wherever they are, in beautiful Italy. So the whole time, all the scenery is gorgeous. You get to shoot all this amazing architecture and these, coastal, scenes. Like all that looked great. And he starts noticing that local ruffians are roughing up, local business owners. and he wants to get involved. But then we find out that guy is connected to the guy at the hotel. It's his brother, and we find out that he is buying drugs from Syrians, I think, and he's funding terrorists to get drugs into his town that then he uses the drugs to fund his operation. I don't know exactly, but it turns out they're connected to the drug smuggling we saw before. And so Robert McCall randomly calls this CIA agent, and it's Dakota Fanning. She's like, "Why me?" He goes, and he never answers why he called her, but why he called her, and there is a reason. So he basically starts telling her these things, and she's like, "Who's this? I'm sorry, who's this?" And he doesn't say who he is, but he's telling him, go to Italy, go to this vineyard, you're going to find all this stuff. So she heads there with Roy from The Office, and he's like her boss. They're there investigating that. At the same time, she's trying to figure out who this person is, who called her. She tracks down Robert McCall, and that was a fun scene between the two of them. Now, I forgot that it was that Dakota Fanning wasn't in the first Equalizer movie. I was like, oh, she's back. Yes. I'm like, wait a second. No, that was Chloe Grace Moretz. Completely different character, completely different actor. So I was waiting for her to go, Robert, is that you? No, she doesn't know who this person is, and she doesn't know the connection at all. We don't find the connection at all until the very end. So he's like, I'm sorry, I can't tell you who I am, even though she knows who he is. He plays with her like, he's like, oh, yes, don't forget. He's like, take a picture of me, and he smiles. And then which is I might use as my image. It's very tough finding the right image to use with me. There's not a lot of people, and it's like, so I gotta find, Denzel's in every shot. Well, I can't stick my head on Denzel's body. I'm sorry, I'm pretty good at Photoshop, but I'm not going to pretend that I can pull off respectfully a black man in the 70s. And nor do I think that is would be a smart choice for me to do. Imagine if I just stuck my face in there and did nothing else and said nothing about it and just made, and again, I'm not pretending that this gets the attention that to the point where it's like, oh my God, look what he did. But in my head, I would think, oh my God, like if anybody sees it, that would be embarrassing. That would be shameful. So I might be just like, if you see the photo, I have one of him smiling at the coffee shop. I just might have me sitting at the coffee shop with him, just enjoying a latte or something, or an iced coffee. I'm not sure. I'm still working on that. But he is helping her. He's like, why did they choose this port? Why did they choose the most public port? Why not choose something else? And it turns out that's because the cartel's here. It's not going to some other, or the drugs are here. They're in this town run by this guy. So we find out this guy is, basically, he is buying all the drugs and funding these terrorists. There was a train bombing, and the head of the chief of police is like, enough, you can't do this anymore. And he's like, yes, I can. Chop off your hand. So he's roughing up a young cop who's the guy who helped and found Denzel at the beginning. And finally, that cop goes to dinner one night, and the brother of the main bad guy, the guy who's basically the enforcer, shows up, and he shows up at the cops. First, he beat up the cop in front of his kids. Then he shows up at this dinner, scaring the family, and he's like, you're gonna do this for me. You're my errand boy now. And they're in this little restaurante, and he turns, and there's Robert McCall right there. Look, and when I saw him, I was like, oh my goodness gracious. Like, you, what bad luck. And the guy comes over, he's like, what are you doing, American? He goes, I believe in timing in life. And he's basically, the timing for you is just bad. If this was 3 weeks ago, we would not be having this conversation. But here I am, and I'm liking this place. Like, we watch him kind of nursing himself back to health after getting shot. We see him becoming friendly with the locals. He becomes friendly with a woman from a restaurant. There's no relationship there. I don't think they just seem friendly. I mean, they think this woman's a lot younger than him, so I think they're just avoiding that. And he's still a very much, misses and loves his wife, but it seems like he's found his people and he wants to live there and stay there. I don't know what that means if there's a 4 or 5. So he, but he basically says to the guy, it's just bad timing that you're here with me. He's like, what are you talking about? And he goes, listen, he goes, is that a Timex? The guy holds up his hand. He's like, no, it's, and he's about to show off his watch. And then Robert McCall grabs him, pinches a nerve, and basically almost kills the guy by pinching a nerve. He tells the other guys, get out or he'll really, cause havoc. So the guy makes all his subordinates leave, makes him take his gun out, and makes him leave the restaurant. And then the guy's like, we're going to go back and we're going to kill that Americano. And as he's telling one of his guys gets run over by a van. The van is driven by a guy who's dead. So Denzel kills both these guys, comes over and just kills these other guys. Bing, bang, boom, no adversity. Bing, 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 bang, boom, you're all dead. And I was like, wow, this advanced quickly. And it was like, he never got the shit beat out of him ever once. And you know what? Is that more realistic? Yes. Do I care? No, I do not. No, I do not. So then the main bad guy is like, he finds out his brother's dead. The chief of police shows up to say no more of this. That's when he chops off his hand. And he goes, hopefully they can reattach it and you can use some of your fingers. Then he shows up in this village, this little neighborhood, and he's like, bring out the American. I'm gonna kill the cop. He's gonna kill everybody. And Robert McCall's like, you want me? It's me you want. And he's like, yes, we're gonna kill you right now. And then everyone's filming him. It's like, oh no, we got to get out of here, the cops. So that was a little silly. And he's like, I'll be here waiting for you when you're ready. I'm here. That's when Denzel goes to the house, kill, gets the main guy, drugs him, and then the guy dies in the street of a drug overdose. So on the news, it's like the head of this cartel family, or whatever you want to call him, organized crime family, he overdosed on the very drug that he was peddling to the streets. Dun, dun, dun. So who knows how he died? He did save Dakota Fanning's life. She was like, he goes, wait, don't trust anybody. And that paused her enough. I think they said, at first I thought they said this police officer is going to drive you to the hospital. I thought that police officer was going to, kill her. But instead they just tried to blow up all the police cars, even though she wasn't there yet. So they didn't time that right. They blew it. So she ends up in the hospital and basically doesn't do anything else. She doesn't, and she's like, thank you for helping me blow this wide open. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Oh, that's right. So she goes to the chief of police and says, I want to question all these people. And he takes one name out, throws it in the garbage, and says, you can't question this guy, but anyone else. And she ends up just questioning that guy. And that guy, she's like, do you want to make a deal? And then all of a sudden they arrest some people and take some people out. And I guess that was the deal. It wasn't all that clear. Again, I'm not saying this movie is perfect. I'm not saying this movie is excellent. I'm not saying this movie is great. I am saying I enjoyed watching Denzel having tea. I enjoyed watching him have coffee. I enjoyed watching him get stronger on his cane, walking around Italy. I don't know what to tell you. And then he'll just kill a guy and one person, he shoved a wine glass through his face. He just kills everybody, and he throws some guy through stained glass on a ceiling into the main guy's bed. And you know what? I am there for it. I am enjoying it. I know what I'm not watching. I know what I'm not like. It's not like the plot wasn't all, it was just very simple. And, again, I think I picked out some of the holes where it's like, well, wait a minute. They were afraid of the cops this time, but not this time. And yet, again, I don't care. At the very end of the movie, so he visits, all the bad guys die, and he visits Dakota Fanning in the hospital with a bag, and he's like, she says, what's in the bag? He goes, $344,000 something dollars, American cash. And she's like, what is that? She goes, that is this bricklayer. She says his name. He's in Boston. That is his pension. So it turns out that this guy's pension was stolen from online, crooks, and he was able to track down that this pension was stolen by the stroke of a key through online ghosts that ended up being this vineyard guy, this criminal in the vineyard, And he went back to that house. Remember at the beginning, he says, you took something that didn't belong to you and I came to get it back. He didn't care about the drugs. He didn't care about the millions of dollars he could have stolen or the bearer bonds or whatever. All he cared about was the exact amount that this guy had stolen from him. That's what he was leaving with the whole time, was for this guy. So he's not going back to America, but Dakota Fanning heads back, and we see her in Boston delivering the cash to this family, this husband and wife, this older couple. And he's like, oh my God, we're not going to have to, you can unpack the car. He had a very Boston accent. It was very realistic sound. Like, he just, two Boston actors, I think, husband and wife, and all the boxes, like you could see they were ready to leave the house they probably lived in forever. It's like, we're not leaving. He's like, and then she said, they're like, where did it come from? She goes, I can't tell you. I don't know. And I don't know why he did it. So it wasn't like he was a paid client. He just probably found out, and he's like, you know what? I'm going to go to Italy and I'm going to get your pension back, Mr. Bricklayer. And the guy's like, it's wicked awesome. But while he's there, he fell in love with the area and he stayed, and he, we see him celebrating with soccer. Like, it looks like the local team won a soccer game, and he just loves it. He loves being part of one of them. I don't know what he does for work there. Does he just live with the doctor now? I don't know. Maybe he got his own little place. I'm sure he has tons of money, when he needs it. There's a yawn. So that's the very end, but then we do see one more shot of Roy from The Office coming into Dakota Fanning. He's kind of there, he's there to be another person for Dakota Fanning's character to talk to about their investigation. Again, he doesn't do much of anything, but then at the end he's like, they want to talk to you. You did a really great job with everything. And and then a male person goes, this is for you. And it's a little notepad, and it says, your mother would have been proud of you, RM. And she looks through it. It's all these notes, and she's like, oh. And then she looks over on her desk, and there's a graduation photo of her, not greatly photoshopped, of her and her mom and her dad. And her dad is Bill Pullman, and her mom is the woman who was like Robert's go-to person in the first two Equalizer movies. Like, there was a little flashback of her talking about him, like, this is what you want to do with yourself. Like, he was her contact, that they've gone back for decades, and it turns out that their daughter is Dakota Fanning, so that's why he called her the whole time. So it does. What I like is, while there's some inconsistencies in the middle, the beginning, the money that you took from me, I'm here for something, it doesn't belong for you. We find out exactly what it is, why he did it, and where it went. And then, why did he call Dakota Fanning? Now we find that out too. So I like that. That is, a little tight little script writing right there, even though there's some loose ends in the middle. Overall, I was still very pleased with this movie. I have to admit it. I was. Now I got to figure out how to Photoshop myself somewhere in this movie. So maybe I'm one of the Italian people getting beat up by him. I don't know. Generally, the first one I got beat up. The second one I was Pedro Pascal sitting on a bench with him. And we'll see. Maybe it's me completely sitting at a cafe, or I can find a photo. But that is what I'm going to be doing right now as I get off this with you, because it's only 9:55. So this is the earliest I've finished in quite a while as far as getting the podcast done. So that is it. I nailed it. I'm not sure we're ever going to see another Equalizer, but I'm not betting completely against it. Because nowadays, if Antoine Fuqua wants to make one, I feel like nowadays he can do whatever he wants, because yes, he just directed the Michael movie, which was like the biggest movie of the year so far. So yeah, if he says, I want to do, me and Denzel want to go do, part 4, they're like, all right, go on, go do it. Where do you want to go now? We're going to go to the moon. Oh my God. And that would be awesome too. Even though he loves living in Italy, I feel like maybe now he could be more international. He's got to go to Germany or something. I don't know. Whatever it is, I'm going to watch it. Again, I will watch it no matter what. And I will watch it here on Movie Month if we get there. I hope so. But as far as right now, the trilogy, because that's all it is right now, is complete. The Equalizer, as it stands now, is finished. And day 22 is in the books. But I'll be back tomorrow to do this all over again. I hope you will be here too. Until then, you can follow me on all the socials at Geek Mentality, except of course TikTok, which is Geek Mentality Mike. Do you follow me there? Please check me out. Or you can go on YouTube, Fans Not Experts, Facebook, Fans Not Experts, and of course the website, fansnotexperts.com. That is it. I am done. I will be back tomorrow, my friends. But until then, thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. And here is my theme song.
This is my podcast, I made it. Geek Mentality's what I named it. And I think you should listen and subscribe, 'cause I'm kinda funny and awesome. I think that I'm worth your time, and I'm kinda handsome. My mom says, please listen and please subscribe. At least listen to this episode.
Fans Not Experts.